afternoon. I'm Karen Whiting, author of The Gift of Bread, Recipes from the Heart and the Table, and 24 other books, and I'm happy to have you here in my kitchen. Today I'm going to make some cranberry macadamia mini muffins. I usually make it with orange juice and grated orange rind, but today I'm doing lemon because my son likes lemon better, and lemon muffins are also very good. And I am making half of my normal recipe. This normal recipe can be made as a loaf of bread, and that's always very nice. But as a half, I'm just using a cup of flour and a half a cup of sugar, because I'm going to mix all my dry ingredients in this bowl. When you're making muffins and bread, quick breads, you usually mix your liquid separate from the dry ingredients. And then I'm adding in my baking powder, which is going to be 3/4 of a teaspoon of flour and a half a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of baking soda. Of course, I dropped some of my baking soda, so let me try to get some of that back up. It'll work out fine. There we go. It's a good thing to make sure your surface is really clean before you start cooking, because you never know what will happen. And I always do that. I always clean everything in my kitchen before I start baking. And then separately, I'm going to be pouring in my lemon juice, which is 3/8 of a cup. And for my lemon juice, and I do want to talk a little bit about tools I use at times, I first of all have to use some grated lemon peel, or if you're doing orange peel. So I used a little zester, has little teeth on it, and you just pull down and it will just peel off that outer layer of your lemon. And lemon is so light colored, I'm not sure how much you see of it, but there's a lot of little tiny lemon peels here. You can see it better right here. And I'm going to be adding that in with the liquids. And then half an egg. Now, I have my little tiny whisk. I love using a whisk for a lot of things. But to get half an egg, I take one whole egg and I beat that, because you want to beat your eggs before you add them into the rest of the ingredients anyway. And then I half that. It's really about 1/8 of a cup is half of a large egg. But you can measure that in your liquid measuring cup, because these are liquid measuring cups. The other side of this is dry measuring. And these, of course, are your dry measuring cups that once you put your flour in it over your canister of flour, you just push flat with the flat side of the knife to make sure you just have the 1 cup in there. And I'm going to be adding in my shortening, whether you're using butter or a Crisco type thing, or you can even, for this recipe, it's fine to use the liquid oil. It works out. I don't have any problem substituting. And then I'm going to be stirring this all together. To get that mixed in well, I am using my whisk to whisk up and get that butter mixing in. Just for a couple minutes. And part of the reason for doing this is, see, you can beat the liquid well, but once you mix it together, you just want to get it well mixed, but not over mixed. You don't want to mix any kind of a quick bread or muffin for too long of a time. But you do want to make sure you get all the dry and liquid mixed together so that you don't have dry flour sitting on the bottom or anywhere else. And I just mix that in. And then once that's mixed, and it is a batter, so it's not something that you're going to be stiff and kneading like a yeast bread, I'm going to be adding in my nuts and my cranberries. And you stir that in, and of course, I have macadamia nuts. I lived in Hawaii for a while and really like those types of nuts. And as you can see right now, it's turning my batter a little bit pink. If I had blueberries in instead of the cranberries, or strawberries, it would, strawberries would do red also, but the blueberries would make it quite red. And that part of the reason it's turning pink now is these were frozen cranberries that have thawed, so they're a little bit softer than your fresh cranberries, but it's not quite the time of year to get fresh ones. And frozen ones cook up just as well as the fresh. If you can't get frozen or fresh cranberries, you can use the dried cranberries, but just as when you're doing raisins in a bread, you need to soak them in warm water for about 10 minutes, drain them, and then put them in to plump them back up. Otherwise, you'll have hard little rocks instead of nice, plump, soft raisins. And then I'm going to take my little scoop, like an ice cream scoop, but it's just for my muffins, and it's really just a little bit bigger than are a little bit smaller than the open size of my muffin tins, my little muffin paper liners. So I like these to be kind of plumped up and high, if I can do it that way. And that one paper wanted to switch over a little bit on me today. Anyways, once I have all of these filled, then I can pop it in my oven, and it'll cook at 350 degrees. If it was a loaf of bread, it would be 55 to 60 minutes. Because it's mini muffins, it'll be about 18 to 20 minutes. I'll really start watching it after 12. I'll look in my oven window and see if they have risen up enough, and then when they start to get lightly brown, I'll check with a toothpick to see if that toothpick comes out clean, so that I know the bread is cooked through and ready to come out. And that's just the easiest way on most muffins and quick breads to see if they're done or not. And I'm trying to think if there's any other tools to mention that I have out. Yes, for my lemon, some of you may have those little electric orange juice squeezers. I still use an old-fashioned citrus squeezer, where I cut my citrus in half, whether it's lemon or orange, and squeeze it on top of here. It catches the seeds on the outside and the pulp, and just the juice goes inside, so that I can measure that and use it. And then, as I said, I had my zester today and my whisk. And this is a silicone baking pan, and I don't need to use the liners because it won't stick in the silicone, and I can spray it with a little oil even. But because of the way I want to serve them, I want the papers on them, and therefore I am using the paper liners. So anyways, we always with our kitchen have our different tools that we're using, and measuring cups and mixing bowls and everything, and that helps us do a good job. Well, in my life as a Christian, the best tool that I have for that life is my Bible and reading the scriptures, and I certainly hope that's something you like to do too. And with a holiday bread like this with cranberry, it's really nice all through the fall to use this type of bread or muffin, and at Christmas time, and you can make a muffin bouquet with them, or a Christmas tree. I've done some videos on making muffin bouquets, so just enjoy cooking and enjoy serving and giving guests something really fun and different, and put in the ingredients that you want, as to choosing the berries or a dried fruit that you plump up a little bit, and the nuts that you want to put in, and the liquid, even the citrus. So have a great day, and thanks for joining me today.